are beginning. I meant to save that for later. Michael Dean, how the hell are you? Can you hear me?
Yeah, you sound weird, but I can hear you.
Yes. Okay. I don't want to sound weird. I want to sound good. You know I care about how I sound to you. Okay, Tori is on her way. I do want to start the show, Michael Dean, by giving a shout out to Sarah, who called me and was like, hey, there are multiple streams up. And I was like, I know we're good, but I don't know if we need to have 5 streams. So I called Michael Dean and he got on top of it. So thank you, coworkers, for being here. Thank you, colleagues, for being here. If you know that we have left a coworker or a colleague in the other stream, go back, throw them. What do you call the circular, like the thing that's at like a pool, like it's not a floaty. What do you call those things?
Oh,
like a life, but it's not a life preserver because I thought that was the vest.
Oh,
what's the circle? Throw them one of those.
I'm pretty sure it's called a life preserver. A life buoy.
A life buoy, yeah. Throw them a life buoy. Pull them into this stream. Michael Dean, I know that you had a meeting, but you got here. Any big plans for the weekend?
I have my big scavenger hunt that I've been planning for like a month and a half on Saturday night. It's a fundraiser that I'm doing for a sobriety group here. Yeah, and it's fun. It's going to be all around 5 points in Capitol Hill neighborhoods here, and it's a little bit of a different type of scavenger hunt. I actually wrote a story. It is a first-person story. Someone is narrating their story throughout the city. And yeah, so I'm very excited about that. My mom came over yesterday, my 83-year-old mother, and I put her to work.
Shout out.
We got the whole thing put together. But Al, there are 10 different teams participating. There are 11 different stops. Every team gets a stop packet, which means that there are 110 stop packets. It's a big production that
it sounds like it. And first of all, let me just say shout out to the colleagues that said it sounded like I was talking through a tin can. That's because instead of using the expensive audio equipment that I just bought, the sound was going through the tiny camera that you're seeing me on. So not only was it a shitty picture, but it also sounded terrible. So Michael Dean, what is the estimated, if somebody really was good at scavenger hunts, what would be considered like a really good time to finish the scavenger hunt?
Well, first of all, where's your mic stand?
I like to hold it.
Okay.
I'm sure somebody will clip that.
I know. There's all sorts of inappropriate things that I was thinking. So AI says that someone who's really good at this is going to be done in about an hour and 45 minutes. I think
that's crazy.
So, but the thing is, like, Al, I might have gone a little overboard. Like, the first 3 stops are walkable, and then teams get picked up by a chauffeur at the 3rd stop and driven around the city. So, because
if you sign up for the Kim Kardashian package?
Yeah.
That's great. That's really cool.
So it's gonna be a good time. I'm excited. It's $25 for a ticket right now. It's gonna be $30 on Sunday. Hopefully they raise the money. I actually think I spent more money on prepping and getting it all together than they will raise. But it's a labor of love.
Michael Dean, I was at Tori's house for the first time ever when I picked her up from her colonoscopy. What was it, last Friday? And while we were there, Tori received a package from she does, like, I think it's called Loose Ends, and it's that group of people that if somebody, Tori is an excellent cross stitcher. Don't tell her I said that. And when people can no longer, like an 87-year-old woman could not finish this incredibly intricate cross stitch, they sent it to Tori. And I can't imagine putting one thread. It was like looking at like a code break that you would need for like World War II. It was incredible. But Tori does this, and it made me think about your situation with the scavenger hunt. I think we all have just labors of love. And if we make money on it, great. We know that we might lose money, and we're fine with that because this is what you love to do. This is like what you do, Michael Dean. Like this isn't just like something that you're like, if I get to it, like you're good at this. You like this. This is awesome. What a skill.
I wish I could find a way to make it marketable. So this is, I guess, the second one of these I've really set up, but it kind of combines what I like. It's like there's a game element to it. It's narrative. It's a first person story. So it's what is that? Al, I feel like you not hear that on your end.
No. What are you listening? What are you hearing?
It just sounds like interference on like one of your cords isn't plugged all the way in. Colleagues, let us know if you hear it. Maybe it's just me. Yeah, it like kind of combines what I love to do. Also, AI is just incredible. It's like helped me create all of these things for it that like I wouldn't have any idea how to do before. Like, just real quick, I'll share this with you. My main character, it's set in the 80s. It's this guy named Danny. And there's Danny.
Oh. All right. How old is Danny? Because he looks like he could play.
He's in his
22 or okay, he is okay.
But like, yeah, I mean, that's not a real person. That is all AI. Here.
Are you serious?
Yeah. Here he is with his boyfriend.
It's over. It's over, Michael Dean.
Totally
you are telling me that this is AI, and I still don't believe it. I still don't believe what I'm looking at. And that's a picture where if somebody sent you a picture of your significant other in not even a state of undress, just a picture that you sent and said, look what your partner was doing this weekend in Vegas. Do you know how many marriages?
Yeah.
And then I got to come home and convince my partner that picture that we're looking at Charlie's is AI. By the time she figured it out, it would be half your stuff would be on the lawn.
Yeah, that is him with his friends all out at the local bar here named Charlie's in the 80s and completely AI generated. None of those people are real. Yeah, but I like just to give you an idea, Al, I went and had those printed up at Shutterfly. So I have actual glossy looking photos of all of those things that look like you got them in the 80s. Anyways, dude, it's
Michael Dean, when is the software going to come out where it just automatically runs things through AI? So like, because this is going to affect contracts. I mean, you famously caught a contract scam years ago when we were on DBL with your real estate. And it's like, I just like looking at those pictures. I still believe that those are real, even though you're in real time telling me that they were not. So I don't know. It's just like this technology. I think it kind of has to do with a lot of our laws. The technology outpaces the laws that we have in place. And so for a while, it's just the wild, wild west, just like things that can be posted. And I remember like the early days of Facebook, I would be scrolling and, you had just those people that you knew that were, I remember this one guy was posting, and I don't want to be gross, but this is like must have been 15 years ago. I was still at my mom's house. He was posting like pictures of like abortions. I even hate to say that, but like posting them. So you're like scrolling, you're like, oh, here's Michael Dean at a picnic. And then like that image, and it was like horrifying. And now I don't think you could do that. I think that there's things in place that stop you from posting like, things that would endanger children and things like that. So I don't know. I just wonder like when we're going to, Tori is here.
There she is.
She's getting her mic.
Hi, guys.
Hello, buddy.
Oh, this isn't. Oh, there. Hi, everybody.
Tori, Michael Dean just showed me, it always sounds bad to say Michael Dean showed me some pictures and I'm still rocked by them. But it's like Tori, Michael Dean, please show Tori the pictures that you just showed us. And Tori, tell us what you think is weird about this. This first guy's a friend of Michael Dean's.
Real quick, I'm doing the scavenger hunt. So it's a.
What is the scavenger hunt for?
It's a fundraiser for this thing called Rocky Mountain Roundup. Anyways, people bought tickets to play my scavenger hunt game, and it is a story. It's a first-person story about a guy named Danny Keenan. And here, Tori, this is Danny Keenan.
What do you think about him, Tori?
I would have had a major crush on him when I was younger, but I'm betting you told me this is AI.
It's set in the 80s. And here he is with his boyfriend. And here he is out hanging out with his friends at Charlie's.
And this is all fake?
In the 80s. This was all AI generated.
Wow.
Even Tori,
crazy.
just even a couple years ago, the AI wouldn't have been good enough for people's hands would have been weird. But now the bottles, there's proper number of fingers. The background is like legit. That's the thing that they kept messing up is like somebody in the back would have like 2 sets of eyes.
Yeah.
And now it's like, what I was saying to Michael Dean is like, if somebody showed you a picture, especially the second one of him with his boyfriend, and was like, this is what Al was doing when you were out of town. He was doing this in Vegas. Would you not believe that? Like just looking at that picture, like how many marriages is that going to break up?
I did.
I mean,
go ahead, Tori.
I was just going to say, how many wars could that start?
Yeah.
So real quick, I did ask it to make a movie, and here it is. And this one it didn't do so well at, but okay, here we go. Sorry, try again. But you can see at the beginning there were some like weird things with the background. Here, you want to see it again real quick?
Yeah. Close enough.
Dude, that's crazy. You know, now when I'm on Instagram and there's a cute thing like a penguin goes over and gives a rock to another penguin or something, I always have to look in the comments to see if it's AI.
Yeah.
Because now I don't know. Remember that big thing where the pets picked you out on Instagram and everybody was like crying because people were seated and then the pet came out? That was all AI.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
So I will say, and I'm probably going to admit to something illegal here, but it's a narrated story, so I use a voice, and I was trying to come up with whose Danny's voice was going to be, and you could create your own custom voice. And the first voice that I picked, I went and found a video of what's his name from The Bear? Jeremy Allen
White
talking. I recorded it with my phone and then I played it to generate the new voice, and it cloned Jeremy Allen White's voice and created all of my stories were narrated essentially by him, which is, I mean, like recognizably that's Jeremy Allen White's voice doing it. I ended up not doing that and doing it a different way because he sounded too straight. But this is why I think a bunch of actors are so freaked out by it, because like all of a sudden you hear it sounds just like him, and he never said those things.
This is what the strike was about. The writer strike is because the writers and the the actors and producers, they saw the future coming, and I think they all know they can only hold it off for so long. I mean, we all saw the clips of who is it? The two famous guys. It was like the guy that played Deadpool and the guy that was like Wolverine, or Tom Cruise fighting on that roof. And I think it got
Brad Pitt.
Brad Pitt, yeah. And it's just like, you think Brad Pitt isn't looking at that like, man, that looks like me at my peak? And now, Tori, what if we want to get 1987 Stallone when he's in Rocky shape, and we're gonna have him fall in love with 1971 you know, I can't think, Diana Ross in an interracial steamy thriller. You can just take people at any era, at any stage of their life, totally recreate their voice, totally recreate their affect, and totally recreate their look for $0.
Yeah.
No agents, no background people, no trailers, no craft services, no royalties, no Me Too lawsuits. It's just anybody you want doing whatever you want. They don't need bathroom breaks. They don't get the flu. I mean,
But, like,
Tori, this is crazy.
Can't you at some point, like, for instance, if somebody, let's say I owned a winery, and I put Brad Pitt's face on my wine, like, he can sue for likeness and all that. And if they're making money off of your face, like Stallone, and you could sue, can't you?
Oh, 100%.
So
Yeah.
this is going to be stopped and probably have to go to the Supreme Court, because when issues like this take over like a large amount of a big moment in history, like can AI replace you? That's a industry-wide situation here, and I wonder what case that'll be, but it'll be a case.
Here's the thing, Tori. Because what you're saying is totally true. Try posting something that's got Disney's face, Mickey Mouse's face, or Darth Vader's helmet. It'll be gone in a second. But what we do see, baby girl, is a lot, especially music artists, selling their catalog. Justin Bieber sold his music catalog. The Beatles famously, didn't Michael Jackson buy it? So what happens if somebody comes to you and they say, Tori, you are a beautiful actress, okay? Gorgeous Tori. And then they're pouring some scotch when they're saying this. They're like, but, you know, Father Time is going to do his filthy business on all of us. So how about this? How about we put $200 million in your account and we have access to your likeness forever? Do you take that?
No.
What's the window for an actress to be that girl?
They could do anything to you.
Yes, and you could do anything with 200 M's.
No, I would have, if I did take the money, there would be strict term limits on what they could use. I could be put in a porn. I could be put in anything that way. I could be put being a Nazi. I mean, you could, I mean, that's...
Way to cover for yourself. I could have been put in a porn in sophomore year.
And it might have been called mandatory, you know?
Yeah, that's actually really good. It's a bunch of guys in line in the dorm hallway. But yeah, I mean, it's just a matter of time before once somebody sells their likeness. What if you're kind of done with what you're telling me? Jack Nicholson, who's got a gut out to Wednesday, wouldn't sell his likeness and just be like, you can have whatever you want.
No, I don't think Jack Nicholson, who is a method actor and never needed the money, would ever do something like that. Now, do I think people who are like a little washed up C-list, they're on Dancing with the Stars, maybe they do that? That's okay. That's up to them. But someone said mandatory. I'm watching. Oh,
so W's wife is like, what are you doing on there? And he's like, it's mandatory.
Oh, that's so bad.
I mean, it's, and I'll say this, Tori, I know that you are saying like A-list actors don't need money. I don't know if you saw the article. I don't even have the screenshot of it. Floyd Mayweather, whose nickname Michael Dean was Money Mayweather, made hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars. There are rumors now that he's $500 million in debt because he's a gambler. That's why he's going to fight Mike Tyson. Why do you think they're fighting? Because they love getting hit in the face. They need money. Oh, thank you, Shelley.
Career earnings exceeding $1 billion, facing reports of significant financial mismanagement and debt estimated to be up to $100 million.
Tori, wow. Everybody needs money, and eventually they're gonna hit somebody.
I mean,
they're
that's
gonna
up to them.
they're gonna be like, this is your legacy. Long after you're gone,
that's horrible.
young kids will know you. You'll be famous forever. You're telling me an actor with an ego wouldn't be interested in that?
But Al, again, I'm just going to say that is such a slippery slope because they could do anything. And would you want your legacy to be in like a bad porn? I'm just saying, I don't know why I'm going back to it, but they could exploit you in any way. I mean, I would be, I would have terms. I would have terms is all I'll say. Shelly, thank you. A donation to Mike D. $5.
Oh,
so
yes, thank you, Charlotte. Yes, and also like I will move on. Matt, this is a super interesting conversation. But Tori, I did want to ask you this before we get into the stories because Michael Dean said, "All right, we love you, Michael Dean. Thank you for the great stories today." Tori, did you and colleagues, did you see this? Tori, the black comedian, and it's important for this for me to say his race. Drewski, who you see on the left, just posted Yes, he posted. Did you see his Erica Kirk video?
No, but I don't see Drewski.
He's the white woman, the heavy set. Yes, Tori. Yes, yes. Wow. And so, that was the biggest shade of it. Oh, Tori. I mean, but that's. I mean, to your point, to make you feel even better, Tori. Grok, AI for racist men. Couldn't tell the difference when it was on X. It was labeling Drewski as Erica Kirk, and he did an entire video as her. So I wanted to ask you two things, and they're both kind of loaded questions. One, is our society turning on Erica Kirk? Because it's hard to do as
are you joking?
A widower. Do you think it's turned?
Society turned on Erica Kirk when she did a what do you call it, like final victory lap as her husband was being like barely cold. I mean, I think people did not respect the way that she mourned her husband, in my opinion. A lot of people were like, I think
you are totally correct, Tori, and I actually have something to
Erica's account, and it appeared that she had spent over $1,000 buying aloe clothing the day after Charlie was. You can see it clear as day on the receipt, which I will show you guys for transparency, that Erica Francevey, her maiden name, purchased $1,043.30 worth of clothing on September 11th, 2025 at 11:10 a.m.
So
okay, so Tori, just for reference, because I looked this up, aloe is a tracksuit.
You don't know aloe?
No,
aloe and Lululemon are like what everybody wears. Every white woman, or I guess but a lot of white women who drink white wine and have like 2.5 kids, they're dressed in aloe from head to toe.
All right. Well, are they shopping for aloe the day after their husband is assassinated in front of millions?
Now, I think that's ridiculous. However, Michael Dean says $1,000 at aloe, it's not a lot of money. It's really expensive.
Yeah, it's quite the situation that she's found herself in, and it's so interesting that she had so much empathy from everybody, and that's been squandered.
Yeah,
in the period of less than 6 months.
And I have to say, Julia's right. It was that head grab with JD Vance. Remember this?
With the pants? With
the pants, pleather. Okay. And it was also, as Jag in Arizona says, it was the pyro that did it. There was a lot of like fireworks, and it was like, dude. And there's also a video of her backstage. This is the third nail in the coffin. I shouldn't have said that. That's a bad analogy because, I don't wish death on people at all. But that she was sort of wiping her eyes in a way that looked like right before she went on stage, Al, she was putting in like drops so that she would cry. And or your analogy is spot on. So a lot of people feel like it's very strangely crocodile tears. And but I do. Does anyone have a problem with a black man doing that in whiteface? I mean, all have
that was going to be my other question to you. So yes, okay. What are your thoughts? And then I'll try and think about mine because I've thought about it back and forth. So what do you think, or do you want me to go?
I first want you to go, but I do want to acknowledge to Amy Higgins about Afro Man's new lawsuit and the song Lemon Pound Cake. I will explain everything. It's the funniest thing in the world. Our friend at work, we watched it today. It was very funny.
Tori,
Yes. Yeah.
Tori, do you think that I haven't been, I'll just say, insert word here, deep into that story? Do you think we can't do 2 more hours on the Afro Man case? Do you want to talk about Lieutenant Lickham Lowe? Do you want to talk? Do you want to talk about her?
Guys, if you didn't know, the police raided Afro Man's house and like caused damage in a way in which it was unconstitutional, and he sued, won, and then used police tape, his cameras everywhere, to make like music videos about the situation. And it's very
well. It was really interesting. I actually probably have some kind of ready to go here. I was going to do some on my show tomorrow, and I should put this up so that I should have gotten it ready, but we had some issues with the stream and it threw me off. I'm going to do a show tomorrow. It's going to be a recap of all the stories. It's called This Week in Fascism.
Nice.
Yeah, or
That's
Fascism
cute.
Week, whatever.
Wait,
However
fix
you
your
want to
mic.
Yeah, and so, but basically, it was a real, and Tori, for a legal nerd, this is right up your alley, you know? In terms of First Amendment, he took the footage from his property and he made money off it. And as a result, the sheriffs then sued him because they were publicly humiliated. And then when you watch the stories in court, they make the cops watch the video and then answer questions to it. It is brutal and it is hilarious.
It's so funny.
All right, so we'll get all into that. So okay. Yeah, let's get into our first story. Oh, let's answer the question first. What do you think?
Okay, so Michael Dean says White Chicks is one of his favorite comedies of all time. I always felt that blackface or any kind of face is when it's about a class of people that have been mistreated, is so much worse. And I don't mind the White Chicks thing, but is that a double standard? Because is that a double standard?
It is a double standard, but I think that we say things are a double standard, so it's automatically out of bounds. And I think everything that we deal with, there's a duplicity to everything. And for example, in our makeup room, Jure could be joking around with one of you guys and he could call you a B. He'd be like, B, your nails look amazing, or B, are you crazy? But it's like Jure. And that's how he interacted with, because of the closeness in there. I would never refer to Erica or you or Sam like that. Is that a double standard? It's different, yeah. But I think that there's a way, like when you hear two homegirls talk to each other and they go there like, B, I was having my drink.
Right.
I couldn't say that. Just like somebody, there would be outrage if a white rapper used the N-word in one of his songs. Right. There's a double standard because there are two things, because there have been two sets of rules in which people have lived by, and we have to accept them. We just can't act like there's like a golden rule. So,
I guess I just think the difference is like when you're dressing up as someone in the history, when it comes from minstrel acts. I mean, it comes from a derogatory place in a class of people that have been mistreated. So I feel like in that way, like that's why I take blackface as like horribly insulting and racist, but I don't mind. Yeah, Eddie Murphy's been doing it for years. I guess I don't mind it the other way. So that's my take on it, and I wonder what you guys think. Write in the comments if you think the Wayans brothers. Yeah,
White Chicks. I never saw White Chicks. I don't know
I didn't
how
either,
I missed that movie, but like to some people, that's
like number one.
Yeah, that's there. You know what else that movie is like big?
Oh, Michael Dean.
You guys are coming over this weekend and we are watching White Chicks, and I have to like strap you to the chairs and like full on like put toothpicks in your eyes or whatever they did in Clockwork Orange. But that's like a crime. That's a comedy crime.
Okay, I love the passion.
Incredible.
It's amazing. Like where some movies hit people, where you're just like, oh, that's a no-go zone. Like that's their movie.
Yeah,
and nothing you say is going to change that. All right, let's get to some real news real quick. So let's get to this. All right, Tori, this is going to shock you. We're going to be talking about Iran. We're going to be talking about President Trump because he's ready to do what, Tori? Unleash hell. That's right. That sounds like a wrestling match in the WWE. It's hell in the cell. Okay. The White House says Trump is ready to unleash hell if Iran doesn't make a deal. While somehow he still says that talks are being productive and that Iran gave him quite a gift. It's just, Tori, it's so vague and dumb. But he said he will not explain more. Meanwhile, more troops are headed over to the Middle East. So that's good, right? I believe it's the 82nd Airborne. So, Tori, what do you think is going on? And do you think they're just stalling time because we're definitely going to have boots on the ground? Because that's what I feel.
Yeah. I don't think there's a plan here. Sometimes I think when he says unleashing hell, he doesn't have any idea what that means.
Wait. Like, I have to ask about the gift. I just figured this out. Do you guys know what it is?
Wait, so he said Iran gave them a gift?
Yeah, he said that Iran has given us an incredible gift.
What?
No. Is it more fake gold for the Oval Office?
No, it allowed 10 oil tankers to pass through the Strait of Hormuz.
Oh. But why would you need that gift if the war is over and you won?
Yeah, which I don't get. Julius was trying to write Gulf of Hormuz, but wrote the Gulf of Hormones, which is a very cool name for like a book.
It really is. It's just like when, in perimenopause, that'd be like a really funny,
the Gulf of Hormones.
The Gulf of Hormones. And also, to Julia's point and to your point, I don't want to know about the Gulf of Hormuz. I wanted to just live my life. And now we all have to be, international purveyors of trading choke points in the Middle East. This is why I have so many words that almost came out of my mouth. Trump supporters, I didn't want him in the office. I know that I'm liberal and I am wilder than all of you guys combined. Like I'm not like I know they act like we're like me and Tori would go to one of your MAGA parties and turn that bitch out. You don't want none with us. So stop acting like we're too liberal to do it. I just wanted to live my life. And I didn't want to be talking to Tori about international gifts and if the Gulf states natural resources on Karg Island. Where the hell is that? That sounds like a red planet on Star Wars. I don't want to know where that is. It sounds awful. It sounds like no one's ever laughed there. It sounds like there's no hotties. And it's just men covered in oil letting ships go by. But we can't have that because Donald Trump had to have his friends create a trafficking ring. So we need something to distract from that. So here we are, Tori, talking about the Strait of Hormones.
And guess what we're not talking about?
What's that? I think it's still looming, boo. I still think it's there.
I do too, but it's interesting that has worked. The day that Greenland took over the most Googled more than Epstein files, I realized his plan's working. When he did the whole Greenland, he just gets a conversation going. That's why I kind of think unleash hell. If you asked him what that means and he took a truth serum, he doesn't have any idea. He doesn't have any idea. Now he's joked around with the press pool about using a nuclear weapon, which is horrifying. But he's like, we could do that. We could take them back to a place they'll never recover. We could use what I'm talking about. And it was, off the cuff. And it was like, he's just so.
But back to my point, why would you bring that up if you've won or you're winning? Why would you need to bring in a nuclear weapon?
I think it's like the mission accomplished thing with Bush. We haven't won. I mean, it's like, I don't even think MAGA believes that. I mean, I don't think Fox News believes that. I mean, it's just words. It's like kafefi. No, but I mean, it's just, he says things and they're just words and it's just no plan or backup behind it in my mind.
But troops headed over there aren't just words.
No.
I think we've already got like at least 2,500 Marines there or on the way there. And I think this is that escalation trap that people have been talking about where now the troops are going to be there. And Iran has come out and said, we're not really negotiating. We haven't had any phone calls. So, there's an old school saying that all of our colleagues have known, and maybe your parents especially if you had a black father like I did. You got to shit or get off the pot. And you can't have troops just standing around because now you look weak and indecisive. So once they're there, I think there's 24 hours. And I don't know, Tori, after that, I like you said, I don't think he has a plan. And I don't think Hexa does either, because 2 years ago, he was working weekends on Fox.
Yeah, he said, do you see what he said? He said, we don't negotiate. We negotiate with bombs or something. Was that what he said? It's just a Fox News guy on testosterone, allegedly, that has been put in charge of a Department of War. It feels like 10-year-old boys playing in the forest. I'm the head of the Department of War.
He's got a weird hard hat on that he found from like an old construction site. I'm the captain. You know what it reminds me of, especially like spending as much time in South Florida as I would, is like once you get out of Miami proper and you're like in the South, they always say you got to go north or go south in Florida. When you're in a bar that's got 3 yellow pickup trucks outside, they always had like license plates or posters, and they say the same thing that Pete Hegseth says. Like, you want to negotiate with me? I've got my Colt 45 and my Magnum. You know, they always like those kind of like, you want to date my daughter? I've got a grenade salad for you to chew on. Like, shut up. Who are you talking to? You weirdos. They're so weird. And so like, it's just like, I don't think that Pete Hegseth knows what he's into when he's saying like, we don't do woke war and we don't take prisoners. Do you understand the kind of peril you're putting your troops in when you say things like that? What the other side's going to do your troops when they catch them?
Yeah, and also it's like a video game sounding. It's like, we don't take no prisoners. We negotiate with bombs. It's like, yeah, someone wrote Shelley. It sounds like G.I. Joe. It's like it's playtime. And it's not with people's lives, which is awful. I
will say this, Tori, before we move on. It did remind me of my favorite scene in Tommy Boy when they're about to go pitch the different brake pad buyers, and David Spade goes to Tommy Boy. He goes, "Remember, what do we do?" He goes, "We don't take no prisoners." He goes, "No," and he goes, "We don't take no shit from nobody." He goes, "No, we don't take no for an answer." Yeah, that's it. Just like go in there and just, I do think that we're rapidly running out. And I think when the first boot touches the ground over in Iran, our chance of just packing up, declaring victory, and leaving is officially over. All right, let's move on. Tori, guess what? I got some good news on a Friday, Junior.
Really? I could use some good news.
Okay. Do you really want some? Okay, I'll.
Oh, wait, were you kidding and now you feel bad?
Yeah, I do want. Oh, here's some good news. Bill Maher is going to get the Mark Twain comedy. Yeah, he's after the White House called it fake news. Bill Maher is officially winning the Mark Twain Prize for American humor. So is that good news for you?
That's a controversial move, my friend.
Yeah. So, give me your thoughts.
I think for many, many moons and years, Bill Maher was a Democrat who was not only funny, but had the balls to say what was politically incorrect and led to a show called Politically Incorrect. And people just loved that he would go there with people. And he was smart enough to debate the best. And he was really, really open, and people could say things on their shows that you were all thinking, but no one was saying, right? And then he had his show on HBO, and I watched it a lot. And then he got turned a little in his philosophy and his ideology, and he became a little bit more conservative. And there was some speech about certain Arabs, and there was a whole thing about 9/11, and so people started kind of turning on him. And I just wonder if people like his show now. I've stopped watching it, to be super honest.
Yeah, me too. And you know what? I think I totally agree with you on everything that you said about Bill Maher. As a comic, I watched his stand-up. And I
the
did
comedy is a little stale. I agree. It's kind of hokey.
It's very late.
I agree
80s
with that.
comedy. I think what happened, Tori, is what happens to a lot of guys that consider themselves liberal, but they're really not. They're kind of selfish. Like Bill Maher's like, hey, I smoke weed and I like to go to black strip clubs. How could I be racist? And anytime like that's your criteria for relating to everybody and their right to live and have a life that is enjoyable to them, that's where you're going to run into problems. Because if you go, well, Bill, I'm glad that you get to smoke your weed. I'm glad you have enough money to pay for lap dances by two black women that have BBLs. I'm very happy for you for that. But my stance on college students being able to protest a war that they think is unjust. Oh, you liberal, blue-haired Starbucks hippie. It's like, it's all good until you push back. And they feel like, I'm not like some stodgy Republican. I'll smoke weed with you. And it's like, that's enjoyable for you. But anytime it starts getting to something that they might have an issue with, instead of having like a valid argument with you or like a little bit of pushback, it's very like, you lefties are so extreme. I'm like, I know people consider you a lefty and extreme. I'm like, first of all, Tory's more conservative than most people would ever think of you, because they already in their head know who they think you are. And also in what, like, they never want to explain in what ways that you're just so outlandish. They're just like, this is why Trump won, because you lefties. And it's like, that's not why Trump won. There was a misinformation campaign. We ran two of the worst candidates at him, and the country really disappointed. And I'm not saying that Kamala was a disappointment as a candidate. I'm saying what they gave her to work with having such a short rope to run with, and also having an unpopular president with an unpopular stance on Gaza. They really messed it up. Is my mic that bad?
Terrible.
Is it that? What? I'm like, what? I'm like losing my mind over here, Tori.
It's crackly. I do agree that Bill Maher is still a Democrat, and I really did watch for a long time, and I kind of agree with Michael Dean. I think it's for his like longevity, and it's not just for like, I don't know. It seems like Bill Maher seems a little out of touch to me, is what Michael Dean said. But a lot of people still watch. Maybe I should get back to watching. I used to watch all the time, and he's one of the Democrats that is like Pete Buttigieg. He can really debate without like screaming, and like makes really good points. And New Rules is funny sometimes. Someone says your wires are bad, or your input is broken.
I just got a brand new interface.
It's the wire, I think.
This is a brand new wire.
Oh, well, sometimes they're, you know.
Yes, I don't. Maybe it's this mic. I don't know. I'm Tori. I'm over it. Is it still? Tori, I'm going to switch this mic. I want to delete this next story. Okay.
Okay.
Saying that big tech is going to finally pay up. A jury just ruled that Meta and YouTube were responsible for harming the youth, and have awarded $6 million, which doesn't seem like a lot of money. Talk to the people.
Well, I actually thought that Meta has to pay $375 million because a certain teen they found, which is really amazing, that they knew that what they were doing was addictive and harmful, and they continued to use it and even up it. And they finally, a court said, yeah, you guys caused this, and that's an issue. So they're forced to pay. And it's kind of like big tech's getting its first If you remember, Zuckerberg and all those guys, they were in the inauguration front row. So you would think that the court, pressured by Trump, would have gone the other way. But yeah, this is the first time we're finally seeing them held accountable. There's also something interesting that happened, which is at a party, at the after party, I think it was Vanity Fair, Oscars party, someone went up to Sam Altman. I don't know if you guys know who Sam Altman was. I want to make sure I get this right. That was a different case, Tori. Tell me. Oh, you mean the 375 million was that? Go ahead.
Yeah, this current case was just for 6 million, but
got it.
Meta had been found liable in another case.
I see.
But
for 375.
The big deal is that the law here is the same sort of law that was used against big tobacco. So, they're saying is big tech now the new big tobacco, and it opens the doors to
for all these lawsuits.
Huge class action lawsuits against
Yes, exactly. And I have to say to you guys, I've gone through some really hard times recently, and I got addicted to scrolling. And so I got the brick, it's like a plastic thing, and you have to touch your phone to it to like block certain things and then touch it back, because like I got addicted. Imagine what an 11, 12, 14, 16-year-old would do it. So yeah, it's time they're held accountable. But apparently there was a party at Vanity Fair and someone accosted, he's a famous playwright from Yale, went up to Sam Altman, who owns is it OpenAI? Yeah. And he went after him because the Pentagon now has a deal with him. And he said, it's time for us to stand up to big tech. And it came right as that lawsuit, they lost. So I wonder if this is big tech's we're seeing a little bit of a downfall for them. And I wonder what you think, Al.
I hate to answer a question with a question, but my question would be, does this make video games now also subject to the same laws? Because there are people that play video games. They said that if you want to play any of these role player games now, Tori, you need to be prepared to commit 4 to 6 hours a day.
I think that it would open that up. My point, I think that's important here, is that they found that Meta knew it was addictive and did it anyway. So I wonder if the video games have had that same kind of history with knowing it's addictive and still doing it.
I mean, I would guess so. I mean, but at the same time, this country has been famous for putting caps on how much you can sue.
Yeah.
And really, I think that this is just going to lead to almost the way that they got out of issues as it pertained to smoking, or as it pertained to even McDonald's with the sticker on the window when you get your coffee. I think this will just be something they have to post before a video plays, like using this can cause addiction. But they also have, I think they have to change the algorithm, because I think I'm not sure, Michael Dean, please correct me if I'm wrong. Not only do they owe that, I thought part of the terms were they had to change that addictive part of the algorithm, but I could be wrong. I'm not sure of that. But man, do you get addicted to scrolling at all? Not at all.
So you're on your phone for what? Just like texting,
maybe a few highlights, maybe the first thing that comes up I'll look at, because have you noticed like your phone knows not only what videos you watch, but what time of day you watch them? And so at night I'll get more kind of a lot of NBA content, a lot of sports content, retro. You remember this player from the 1990s? What happened to him? And it'll be like a 10-minute story about some player that didn't make it. But I think that a lot of people would also say, hey, Tori, I'm not addicted to the internet. And now you took my algorithm and now I have to search for everything. I like the idea of you figuring out what I liked and sending me more of that. So are you also harming the customer that's enjoying the product the right way?
Man, I don't know. It just, to me, it feels like Bond villains. Like that's what they remind me of now. The Bezos and the Zuckerbergs and the I don't know, but the Peter Thiels and all these people we sort of looked up to for these titans of tech, knowing what they know now. Remember that moment, Al, in court when they said to the big tobacco, Michael Dean brings up a good point. Do you know, or wait, what was it? Raise your hand if you didn't know, if you don't think tobacco is addictive or nicotine is addictive. And remember that picture? They all raised their hands, and it was like, oh my God, they are just lying, straight up lying. So it just feels like this could be the beginning of them being at least held accountable. That's what happened at the party. Someone went up to Sam Altman and was like, I'm holding you accountable, and more people should be doing this because they are on the wrong side of history. So I find that maybe we've peaked with the big tech.
Maybe, but then what's next? Because we're talking to each other through tech. We just looked at AI images, which is big tech. We hope people find our show through big tech. So how do we go after the thing that is now weirdly, whether we like it or not, the very backbone of media at this point?
Yeah. And I know that in Spain, is it? They've cut off social media for if you're under 16. It's been banned. I believe it's Spain. But that's what sort of China has a cutoff on their social media, which is kind of weird, and a curfew. But, you know, it's just the point of the addiction is so bad. I feel it's such dopamine hits, and your whole dopamine system gets like rewired, and it's terrible.
Yeah, I don't know. I just think that everything. I mean, remember that show Bar Rescue, and they used to show how people's eyes scan the menu.
Yeah.
How they would make sure that people bought this and this, and how liquor
Yeah.
is displayed. Everything is supposed to be kind of like a way to attack and penetrate your mind to get you to spend more money. So if it's tech now, who's going to be next? Because I think these laws would probably apply to a lot of businesses.
Yeah, I agree. But I think that at some point you have to have, I don't know, some kind of maybe age regulation, or I don't know. Maybe it's already like the Wild West and it's already gone too far and there's nothing we can do about it now. But it feels like cigarettes. I think Michael Dean's, that's a really good call. It feels like someone finally is holding them accountable for knowing what they knew and about lung cancer, about the addiction quality of nicotine, and still doing it. I don't know.
Well, I don't think any of us do. We'll just have to see how it goes. Tori, before we get out of here, I did want to see what you thought about the age for being drafted in the military going up to 42. I'm still outside the window. What do you think? What is that?
Really?
What is that signaling to you?
I don't know. Some people have really good, I think a lot of people have good experience. And if you're 42, you're still able. We've seen athletes be able to play at a high level at that. Maybe they're seeing that. I don't know. What does it make you think?
It makes me think that we're definitely about to invade the Middle East, and we need fresh bodies, because there's not enough people that are just voluntarily going to the military for this. I mean, for as much as it's almost like the same way that we play those games with farmers, where we go, here's a hardworking American farmer, and it's a white guy leaning against a tractor, and it's like, vote Republican or whatever. Farmers are brown people. Farmers are poor people. Have you ever driven past those strawberry fields in Northern California on your way up to San Francisco?
Oh yeah.
Do you see any white teenagers from Vermont out there working?
No, I don't.
Have you ever seen anybody white anywhere close to it, or black for that matter?
No.
Farmers are brown folks. And when you, as somebody that's done a lot of USO gigs, especially when you go overseas, a lot of our military is brown people, because there's a financial incentive for them to join. I don't know if there's enough of those to maybe supplement the number of soldiers that they're anticipating we're going to need. And so I'd like all the guys playing Call of Duty, all the guys playing those video games for years, going on missions, combat missions in your mom's basement, yelling the N-word into a headset. Guess what, guys? It's time to do it for real. So here's your chance. You love the United States. You want to fight people that don't want to put their hands over their hearts at baseball games. Cool. Let's put the Black Hawk leaves from over there, tough guy. So we're going to see if all these, I drive a F-150 and I love this country and stars and stripes. This is your chance, bro. This is your chance. This is your chance.
Interesting. Marcy says send ICE agents.
Send Barron. Yeah.
Oh, there's already a draft Barron website that South Park guys have done. Yeah. Interesting. Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's interesting because we all know in our heart of hearts that that's just lip service and that they're not going to go. They want to stay over here and they want to throw things at people that don't agree with them, don't agree with how our military is being deployed and used. But at the same time, when they do have their opportunity and they can't even use the I'm too old. If you're 41 and a half, bro, good news. I mean, you hear stories about people that really wanted to serve in the army when their country's really under attack. People have stories about their grandfather sneaking off to the war when they were 14, 15.
Yeah, I know.
It meant that much because they were fighting for something. So all these guys that are just fighting on YouTube, guys, this is what you've been waiting for. This is why you've been pushing Control Left Start AB on your video game headsets, because you've been ready for this war, and here it is.
You know what I just have a hard time believing is that he would want to start a war in the middle, like that kind of a war. Maybe he wants it for the votes too, because it causes chaos abroad, and I don't know. I just don't see him as I don't know. I feel like Israel. There's just a lot of repercussions to starting a full war in the Middle East. But
well, what are the repercussions to his ego if it looks like he backs down?
Yeah, very good point.
And I think that's what Iran is leaning on. They're like, come on over here, bro. Stop dropping bombs. Send your dudes. And
it's not going well. It's not going well.
It's not going well. All right, Tori. We are running short on time, so let's do this.
No, we're not. Oh yeah, we are. I have a fact too, if you want, at the end.
Okay, hold on. I'm gonna get to one more story. We are moving on. Thanks to our sponsor, Spider. Michael Dean, hit us with that number when you get a chance. And Tori, I would love to hear you read it. But guys, go ahead, Tori.
720-545-3187.
That's right. Now, Tori, I did want to move on to this story because I think it's super interesting. Did you see the story that this mom takes bullying justice into her own hands? A Utah mom is facing felony charges after allegedly kidnapping a child and forcing him to apologize to her kid for bullying. I looked into the story. She threw the kid in her car and drove him to wherever her daughter was. And now she's being charged with kidnapping and what do you call that? False imprisonment, unlawful imprisonment. So she's facing felony charges. Tori, what do you think about this?
Yeah, you can't do that. If you take someone and lock them up and they can't leave out of their own will, that's called kidnapping.
Yeah.
That's, that doesn't work anymore. That's not how things are handled anymore. If it was that bad, you either get the school or you get the police involved or the student resource officer, but you don't do that. I don't know. What do you think?
I think my head says that obviously what you're saying is 100% accurate. My heart says, I get it, bro.
Yeah.
I get it. If there's a kid at school that was bullying Ford, I wouldn't go after the kid, but I'd probably go after their parent.
But you wouldn't physically harm the parent or kidnap the parent.
Oh, I would absolutely physically harm them. Without a doubt.
I feel like that's an emotional reaction, which I understand, but knowing you, and I don't think you would.
And first of all, I'm telling you this, and I don't mind saying this on YouTube. I wouldn't have to, because Jenny, Ford's mom.
Yeah.
That parent wouldn't stand a chance. It wouldn't. If I heard that something happened, I would be like, is that parent okay? That's wow. The whole, like, don't get between a mama tiger and her cub, or mama bear. That nature is very real. And I think that this is a mom that snapped. I'm not saying that she should have snapped. I'm saying she did. And, Tori, bullying, sometimes when the school's like, well, these kids, I don't think this is the first time that it happened. I am not condoning this. And, these are pretty serious charges. I don't think this mom's going to see serious time, but she probably will have a felony on her record, and that will affect you for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
But, I get it, but you can't let it get to this.
I mean, I understand that. I'm just saying, like, the point is we're the adults, and the adults can't act like the bullies. That can't happen. Otherwise, that just can't happen. I know W is saying he would, but you're going to get the consequences to that then, which is jail time.
That's the thing. And it's, I think in the moment, W and myself and a lot of people would be like, man, if you do that to my kid, you got to be an adult. And I'm talking more to myself than I am to you, W, anybody else. And you have to let the law handle it. But there's a certain point where I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying I could see it. And
oh, totally. Oh my God. Justice is handled in certain towns with these. These are the fisticuffs.
I was like,
I mean, it really is.
The Fighting Irish of Notre Dame logo.
Yeah. Do I look like that guy? No, definitely. I want to say to Kathy, thank you. She says, I hope everything works out the best. You deserve happiness, girl. I'm doing a series on Instagram too about looking for joy. And I just wanted to say, follow along.
Joy is a Black girl she met on spring break 7 years ago. She
was such a good friend. Yeah. I can't find her anymore. No, this is just little Joy. And I'm trying to fix my reticular system in my brain, which is the filter, to start looking for joy instead of, it's all about perspective. And Al taught me that. So that's what, yeah.
You gotta focus on the good. And there is good out here. It's just like,
a lot of loss. Yeah, Barnaby, it's terrible.
Well, speaking of terrible, let me cram this last story in. What do you think about Usher defending Diddy, saying that he was misrepresented and that his legacy is not being totally looked at?
I don't know what Usher's doing, but he's taking you down the wrong aisle as an Usher. You know why? You don't stand up for Diddy. Like, you don't. No one asked for your opinion. I don't know why he would do that. Maybe there's dirt on Usher, but just because Diddy taped everybody, but and recorded everybody. But why are you willingly going to die on that?
I didn't hear you. What?
Why would you die on that hill of like, I'm going to stand up for I don't know why he would do that. I don't know why.
I think you might have said it, even though you might not have known that you said it. There's one or two things. One, it's just the weirdest defense of a person that doesn't need defending and is not popular. Or two, he's trying to get ahead of something by saying, hey, Diddy, you don't need to release weekend 3/18/2016. You can just delete that episode.
It seems like this is the word I would use, coerced somehow, that he is fearful of something. I mean, who would stand up to Diddy? I mean, I don't know why you'd be doing that.
Didn't him and Justin Bieber get into an altercation at like somebody's house?
So Usher really discovered, or Bieber asked to like play drums for Usher and sing. And that's how Bieber started, was because of Usher. So, and then Bieber got close with Diddy. And there's that famous video of, remember Diddy hugging him and like touching him like this to see if he has a wire on. And he like goes like this, and it's super creepy. But I wonder if Usher is part, I don't know.
I think.
Hi, Michael Dean.
Oh, Michael Dean's got to run. Okay. I'll just say this. I think the Weinstein, Epstein, Diddy, all of these things are interconnected.
It seems like a ring. Like
it really does.
A ring. Yeah.
Yeah. And it just seems like the people that we know that got into really bad situations and always seem to get themselves out of it, always seem to be getting these huge contracts. Not like, hey, I was successful at my job and I made $9 million in my career. That's a lot of money. I'm talking about the people where you just read and you're like, so-and-so got a $497 million contract from the government. So-and-so got a $210 million from contract from MCA. I don't think that you can get those abhorrent sums of money without being in a certain circle. Nobody that's really paid isn't some way tangentially associated with these people. Remember, and I'm not trying to link anything. Remember, like, if I'm wrong, tell me I'm wrong. Wasn't it Oprah like that was weirdly some people were like kind of defending Weinstein a little bit?
So Oprah was really close with Weinstein and introduced a lot of young actresses to Weinstein, hoping that they would get their shot. And people have thoughts about that.
Yeah. Do they also have thoughts about the fact that she introduced Dr. Oz to this country? Like a lot of scumbags.
Dr. Phil.
Yeah, a lot of interesting people brought to us by Oprah and Ellen, who left the country. It's weird how like certain people left the country. Tori, that's
you don't think Ellen's involved, do you?
Tori,
you think Ellen DeGeneres is part of it? No.
Do you want to hear a little Thursday conspiracy, Al? Two women.
What?
Okay, it's not necessarily related to that. Okay. Tori,
Say it.
okay, the site of our biggest national mass shooting was where?
Las Vegas.
At the MGM, right? At the music festival, right? There was one guy that did that.
I know this theory you have.
Yeah, but I'm going to keep going. One guy, 67 years old, Parkinson's, was able to get rid of that many rounds. That's interesting. I digress. One security guard working there was able to identify this man. And what happened with him? Have we ever seen him since? No, we saw him one time. What show was he on? He was on Ellen. You send the one eyewitness for the largest mass shooting ever. He goes on Ellen to discuss this one time, and then he's never seen or heard from again. Who owned Ellen's show? MGM. That's interesting. So, do you get this scapegoat? Ellen has been a part of all of this shadiness, and then at the end, she just leaves the country. Right? As all this.
That's because people hated her show and they were sued successfully for sexual harassment.
Have the host from Cheaters got stabbed and he stayed in the country, Tori?
Oh my God.
Why did she leave, Tori?
I don't think Ellen is in it.
I don't.
You're being very degenerate with your feelings.
Tori, do I need to? Can I
That's
post
true.
What did they? Okay, Tori, just because it's Thursday, Junior, I'm going to try and see if I can find my favorite clip ever.
Oh, God.
Do you have to go somewhere?
I have yoga in a little bit.
No, you don't. Hold on one second.
Yes, I do. I walk to yoga at Canopy Yoga. They're going to be on my show. If anyone's in Denver, it's really great.
What's it called?
Canopy Yoga.
Okay, what's their claim to fame?
It kind of is very
like
small, so you get to
scale or something.
Oh, you don't really care?
I do. I'm listening, and I found it. Hold on.
Okay. Yeah, that Twitch thing that's interesting too.
What are they saying about her DJ?
Well, I'm just saying, Colleen Kennedy goes, Ellen and Twitch story. I know. Julia says the way Al's mind works is fascinating. Guys, I was his desk mate for years. It would be so interesting. His brain works in such an interesting way.
But let me ask you this, Julia, as I'm pulling this up. The
television, and I'm so.
Hold on, Tori. I don't even want you to see.
Are you doing Shoop?
No,
oh, no, you're not.
This is from our show. Just really quickly, Tori, and I want everybody to think about this. Butler, Pennsylvania. Tori, all you do is follow the news. What was the name of the guy that tried to assassinate President Trump?
I don't know.
You don't know?
No, I know. I don't know.
You don't know who tried to assassinate Abe Lincoln or was successful?
That was Wilkes Booth.
John Wilkes Booth. Wow. And how many years ago was that, Tori?
That was 1863, I believe.
So that was longer ago than Butler, Pennsylvania.
Yeah, I know.
But
so you think that was set up? A lot of people think that was a setup.
Tori, answer me this. What was the name of the guy that shot up that music festival in Vegas?
I don't know.
You don't know?
No.
Let me ask you this, Tori. What kind of viscous liquid was Sean Puffy Combs accused of using during his freak-offs?
Wasn't it oil?
Yeah.
Baby oil.
But you know that.
Right.
You know what this random guy used in the sex parties, but you don't know the guy that tried to shoot our president, allegedly. Well, Tori, now I know you know this. Give me the name of the guy that tried to shoot Charlie Kirk. I'll wait.
I knew you were going to say that. I was like, what about Charlie Kirk?
What's his name?
Wow. Don't know.
Why don't you know, Tori? You know more about politics, and I'm not being facetious, than most people that I've ever met. Why don't you know those three things that have all occurred within, 4 years? You know John Wilkes Booth. You know about baby oil. Our colleagues are news nerds like us. Why doesn't anybody know this? Could anybody pick any of those people? Our greatest mass shooting. We don't know what this guy looks like. What was his motivations? just some dude, and then never heard from, no manifesto.
Do you think it was like Ellen that did like?
Do you want to hear the real thought?
Yeah. Okay. Go ahead.
Do you really want to hear?
Yeah. I'm signing up to see this. Go ahead.
Okay. I think with Vegas, you have to remember that who's the young Saudi prince, the one that's been kind of cool, trying to hold comedy festivals and stuff.
Mohammed bin Salman, I believe.
Right. He's the young one. But remember, in order for him to become the crown prince, he's young. There were people in line for that position, right? Like, do you think they were just like, let's give it to this young kind of progressive guy? You think there weren't other people in line to be the crown prince? He was given that position through whatever means that was, but not everybody was on board with that. Remember, they tried to kill him once. Do you remember this? They tried to assassinate him?
Yeah, I think so.
You don't remember that they tried to kill Mohammed bin Salman once? Like the other factions that wanted their guy to be the crown prince.
Yeah.
Here's the rumor. This is what I've heard, and it kind of checks out. He was in Vegas. He's meeting with Kushner and Ivanka at the top floor was at the Four Seasons. A failed assassination attempt in which a number of helicopters that were seen spraying the crowd as a distraction were spraying that top penthouse floor, killing a lot of the crown prince's men, but they did not assassinate him. Have you noticed since that moment, we've never seen Ivanka? Remember, she was in our face.
Well, she stopped out of the administration.
Why did that happen? They were grooming her to run for president, and you never have seen her since.
Yeah, because she got so much hate.
That's what that was about. They tried to kill the crown prince while he was here in the United States, and it was a failed mission. But they can't say that that's what it was. So they have to say some 67-year-old degenerate gambler did this.
Wow, you got a weird brain. I like it. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm not saying you're wrong at all.
There's helicopters that are, Bell helicopters. I would look into all this. I'm just saying. Well, what makes more sense? The fact that these three random people that are nameless, faceless, of all the things that are shoved down your face, we all know what a Baconator is. We all know that Hannah Montana used to be Miley Cyrus, but nobody knows those three things. That dog don't hunt. And if we still have some people left, I'll just say, look into your government, because there's some interesting things going on. Tori has already checked out. Guys, on behalf of Michael Dean, I've been Al Jackson. Check us out. Check me out tomorrow. I'm doing my Fascism Week. My first episode starts tomorrow, same time, right here. All right. Tori, anything to hit the people to?
Tune in to Colorado and Company. Oh, your boy BK Sherrod, your friend. He's was my co-host today. So you'll see him tomorrow. Oh, BK is the homie. Great comic. Give him a follow on Instagram. BK Sherrod. So with that said, Tori, thank you for checking in. Michael Dean, thank you for getting the streams set up, and colleagues. I love you guys so much. Tori, let's play with some let's leave with some joy.
To be a part of it.
Are those her real ears?
Brandon thinks she looks like an elf.
Why are you going to throw me under the bus?
You know what it is? You said that.
Well, you agreed, so just say
really?
You thought that.
You listened to that speech, and after all of the heartfelt things that you felt about Tom Hanks, all you did was look at her and say, are those her real ears?
I can't help it. It was just unproportional. Like, my bad. It's the haircut.
Wow.
I will never not love Brandon London. That is, of all the television that has ever existed, that sums up who he is, why he is my favorite person, because that's what he was thinking. And Tori, I do want to say this. This is how you know that he and Stephanie had discussed it, because look at her face. Like, she's like, what? It's the best clip I've ever seen.
And that is the power of television, and I'm so, so grateful to be a part of it.
Are those her real ears?
Brandon thinks she looks like an elf.
Why are you going
Look, she's not trying to be funny. She's just like, that's what he thinks.
Oh man, I had such a good time on that show.
God. Oh man, best times of our lives. All right, with that, I am out. I just had to play that. I'm glad I remembered. Love you. We out.